Days to go before the BRICS Summit. Most communities and sectors within the business fraternity just positioning themselves to get the best out of the upcoming BRICS Summit. This is where you find us in Soweto today for that township dialogue between government, between those in the sector, and of course the BRICS themselves and DECO to ensure that at least when the conversations are had next week, the township economy is also thrusted in the center of what is happening here. I'm going to bring into the conversation now the Minister of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation from the Presidency, Minister Maropene Ramakgopa, who joins us now after delivering that keynote address. You're talking about inclusivity, you're talking about sustainable development of these sectors and just making sure that all of these conversations are not lost. The township economy, that's where it all starts. Welcome to the SABC.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you very much for making sure that you become part of this dialogue that we had, which I do believe that it's one of its kind, precisely because it is saying that if government is going to talk about leaving no one behind, what does it mean? The township economy is supposed to actually contribute at least, or the SMME sector, which is mostly in the townships, of course, needs to contribute to about 90% of job creation as per the National Development Plan. Now, our role and our view is that how do we then now come here to make sure that through this BRICS Summit that is coming here, discussions need to be put in place so that when we talk about collaboration and markets accesses, we're not only going to talk about market access here in South Africa, but we talk about market access in all the other 5 countries. But we're also going to be able to say who can then now come and invest in the township, because there is a lot of innovation, there are a lot of products, there's a lot of talent as well. So for this reason, it is why we thought and we believe that we need to come here to have a dialogue in the township, partnering with TECSA to be able to harvest whatever it is that is here to take to the table as the summit proceed, so that we can also be able to make sure that if ever we're going to talk about markets and economic of scale and so forth and so on, and including things like your stock exchanges, if we talk about that, what are we saying about the township economy? How do we build that? How do we strengthen it? How do we make sure that at least those that are trying in their small corners are able to be brought together with the mainstream economy to be able to talk about the entire economy that we need.
Minister, you spoke about the BRICS Bank as well, to say it really needs to find meaning, especially in helping the township businesses on the ground. And we're talking about collaboration and ensuring that all of these that is said here is not lost. How are we expected to move going forward?
As I already said, is that whatever that we have agreed upon here, we are collecting data that we are going to be able to take to the BRICS Summit itself. So this were the discussion that took place when we were going around South Africa with BRICS countries as our partners. Therefore, one of the things that we have been able to identify is that as much as we have something that is called BRICS Bank, it usually looks at bigger things such as infrastructure and so forth and so on. How do we then now bring in the issue of people to people relations? How do we then now bring in SMMEs to be able to tap into this resource that is there, even if maybe it's through collaborative efforts? But how do we then now make sure that we open that particular platform so that they can access in whatever mechanism that we can be able to develop? Because I don't believe that we can say, no, we can't, it's too small. There is nothing like we can't. Let us put mechanisms in place. Let us research on what we can do to be able to make sure that we are able to help this township economy to grow better, and SMME sector to also be part of the discussions and the people that will be able to say that we are part of the BRICS.
I mean, really, leaving no one behind has been the essence of what is happening here, and we're hoping that the township economy will also get to feature strongly there at the BRICS Summit. Is it all systems go come next week?
It is all systems go. It's only 10 days left. A lot of processes that have been put in place are already there. The venues are already safe and they are secured, and people have actually started coming. We'll also be having, of course, a state visit as well. And so we're really excited. The township economy is going to be part of the discussions, because what we have been able to collect here is going to be part of the discussions of the summit. It's back on the table.
Minister Ramakgopa, thank you very much for your time. time, and everything of the best. Just coming through, saying that they are a government that cares. And it really, when you look at what has been happening in the township, the economies, it feels like they have been left behind for quite some time. But the minister saying that from now on it moves to Sandton, the Sandton Convention Centre next week with 10 days to go. And she's saying as South Africa, it's all systems go, and everything that is collated here will be used comprehensively at that summit next week at the Sandton Convention Centre. I'm Katlego, Legodi for SABC News in Soweto.